I'm John from Great Lakes Country, and today we're making freezer biscuits. That's right, 100% homemade country-style biscuits completely from scratch that we're then going to prepare and package up in a certain way to make the most perfect and delicious and easy freezer biscuits that you can load up in the freezer, pull out, make some beautiful fluffy biscuits that are just as good as if you baked them the same day that you made them. And this all starts with what I would call my go-to biscuit recipe. That's right, all we're really doing at this point is just making some biscuit dough. And as always, it's key when making biscuits to make sure that all of your ingredients are very cold, right up to the point where you're gonna bake them, or in our case, freeze them. So I'm starting with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, which have been in the freezer for the last little while. And to that flour, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of table salt. I'll get those dry ingredients all blended together and incorporated with a fork. And now I'll just put this whole bowl of these ingredients into the freezer for the next few minutes until I'm ready for them again. Because now we need to deal with our butter. This batch calls for a ½ cup of butter, which is normally 1 stick, but I accidentally bought these silly little half sticks from the store. But oh well, they're gonna work just fine. Now some people like to cut their butter up into some teeny tiny little cubes for their biscuits, but I am actually a big fan of the grating method. And that just means I'm gonna start grating with the more coarse side of the box grater. I like it because it's pretty quick. You get some nice, consistently sized shreds of that cold butter. Basically gets them broken down into the little pieces you need, and it only takes about, I don't know, maybe a minute. The only downside is now you gotta clean butter off your box grater, but I still think it's worthwhile. And by the way, that butter didn't really start melting at all from the heat of my fingertips, because I had it in the freezer for about, I'd say 10 minutes before we started grating it. Keeping that butter from melting at all before you want it to is really an important step when making some light and fluffy biscuits. Anyway, now I've got the dry ingredients back out, and now I'll just add in all of that shredded butter. And we need to get all of that butter mixed totally into the flour. A lot of people like to use a pastry cutter for this, which works okay. I think just using my fingers works the best. And yeah, I know I'm wearing a glove. It's not because I'm scared of getting a little butter on my fingers. It's more about when making one of these YouTube videos, you're constantly juggling between touching food and touching camera equipment and all that, and washing hands and having wet hands, so on and so forth. And sometimes wearing the gloves just makes that process a bit faster and easier for me, but do it however you like to do it. Anyway, I'll just sort of mix and squeeze and otherwise cut that butter into the flour mixture. Make sure it's all evenly dispersed so you end up with what some people call pea-sized little pieces of butter in there. But I just keep going until I don't feel any more clumpiness or things that resemble the intact butter shreds. Just a bit of a crumbly, buttery, floury mess. That's looking pretty good to me, so I'll just make a little bit of a well in the middle there, because now it's time for our wet ingredient, which in this case is some whole milk. And of course, buttermilk is also extremely popular, and you could certainly use that no differently than I'm using the whole milk here. This is what I had on hand, so that's what I'm using. So this calls for somewhere between 3/4 of a cup and 1 cup of the milk. So of course I'll start with the low end of that because I can always add a little bit more if I need. So we'll start with 3/4 of a cup and then start getting that incorporated into the dry. Use a fork, use a wooden spoon, use your fingers, use whatever you like. And at this point, it's important not to way overwork the dough. We pretty much just want to mix it and stir it and move it around until all of the wet is totally incorporated with all of the dry, and the whole thing comes together into kind of a lumpy dough. Overwork it too much, it's not going to rise as much. It's not going to be as light and fluffy when you bake them later. That's looking decent, so we're going to transfer this stuff out onto a floured surface. And at this point, I will just be getting my hands in there because there's really no better way. This dough's pretty wet right now, so I'm glad I only went with the 3/4 of a cup of milk. But if it's too wet to even really handle, of course you could pat a little bit more flour in there as needed. Definitely don't want to make it too dry. You'd rather have it be a little on the wet side than a little on the dry side. Basically make it just dry enough that I can actually touch it, move it around the board without it completely sticking to everything. Now we want to press this dough out until it's something that resembles a rectangle, something about like that. And we're going to do a fold over. Pat it out a little bit more, fold it over again. What we're doing here is building layers, and this layering will become evident later when you go to bake it and you're marveling at all of the delicious, beautiful layers inside of there. We'll fold it over one more time. That's 3 total folds. Press it out one more time. Now we'll just press this thing out until it's about the thickness we want so we can cut some biscuits out of it. I like some nice thick biscuits, so I don't get a ton of them out of a batch this size. But if you go too thick, then your biscuits will essentially start flopping over as they're rising in the oven, and you don't want that. But just a good sort of medium thick, I don't know, let's say 1/2 inch, not quite 3/4 of an inch thick. And then we'll take our circle cookie cutter, get a little bit of flour on it, and then start cutting some biscuits. And you always want to press straight down, don't twist, because twisting would sort of seal up the sides and prevent them from rising quite as nicely. And again, yeah, this is a pretty small batch, but I'm just making this today for the purpose of the video and this demonstration. I've actually got a lot of these exact biscuits in the freezer already, so I don't exactly need to make this batch today, so I'm basically doing a half batch. Anyway, when it looks like I can't get any more whole biscuits out of that piece of dough, we'll kind of squoosh it all back together, press it back until it's flattened out to about the thickness we want, acknowledging that doing this part may start broaching into the territory of overworking the dough. But we can't be wasting any of it, so of course we gotta do it. So a batch this size gets us 4 perfectly shaped and sized biscuits with a little bit left over, which we could take this leftover and mash it up and make a little mini weird biscuit and also throw it in the freezer with the other ones. Do whatever you want with it. All right, now ordinarily this would be the part of the biscuit making where we would throw them into a preheated oven. But this video is all about making biscuits to freeze to actually cook later. And there's really only one thing you gotta make sure to do to make this work, and that's to get yourself a baking sheet, line it with a little parchment paper, or you could use a silicone liner or something like that. And then we will just carefully lay our biscuits out on this parchment paper. And now we just need to stick this whole tray into the freezer and do what is essentially a flash freezing. What we want to do is get these things really firm and hard before packaging them up in something to store them in the freezer for a bit longer term. But we don't want to ruin them and mess them up and squish them and mash them by putting them in a freezer bag or vacuum seal bag or anything like that. So you got to do the flash freezing step first. So into the freezer these go for just about the next, I'd say, 1.5 to 2 hours. All right, biscuits are done flash freezing. They're looking good and they are hard as a rock. So now we just need to package them up for long-term freezer storage. And of course, I'll be using my preferred method for storing most things in the freezer. Of course, you could use a Ziploc bag. Just try to get as much of the air out as you can. Some people will first wrap their biscuits in some plastic wrap, like saran wrap, and then put them in a Ziploc just to create that little extra barrier to keep air and extra moisture away from it so you don't get freezer burn. But for me, I do love the vacuum seal bags. And when it comes to biscuits, I do like to store them flat. That way I can stack them up as many high as I want in the freezer. Plus I don't really like storing them on their sides. I feel like if there's anything that's gonna misshape them, it'll be that. So here I've got a bag cut to about the size I need it, and I can perfectly fit my 4 frozen biscuits in there. Then we're just breaking out the handy FoodSaver Vacuum Seal machine, putting the bag like so, close it up, and let it rip. And there we have it. Some perfect frozen biscuits packaged up, ready to stick back in the freezer and use whenever I want. The general rule of thumb is you probably want to use them within about 6 months. Now when it comes time to actually bake these, that also couldn't be much simpler. I don't need to thaw them out. All I need to do is take them out of here, slap them on a baking sheet or a cast iron skillet, throw them in the oven. So I'm gonna stick these in the freezer for a couple days until I'm ready to actually make some for breakfast, and we're gonna jump ahead to that and actually cook these up. All right, a few days later, let's make us some frozen biscuits. And really, it couldn't be simpler. All we're doing is opening the bag, getting us a cookie sheet or cast iron pan, arranging them so. And this pan is about perfect for 4 biscuits. Any more, I'd need something else, but this is gonna be just fine. Now, this is just going into an oven preheated to 400 degrees, somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes, or until the tops are looking lightly golden brown and the biscuits are cooked through in the middle. And after you do this once or twice, you'll know exactly when that is. But if you want to be really sure, you can always use one of these little probe thermometers. Check to see that the internal temperature of that biscuit is about in the 200, 205 degree range. So in these go, and we'll come back in about 30 minutes. And at pretty much exactly 29 minutes later, these biscuits are coming out and they're looking beautiful. They've risen perfectly, they're beautifully golden brown on top, and just in the name of science, let's check the internal temperature. And we're at exactly 204.5 degrees, which is exactly what you want out of a freshly baked biscuit. I'll let these cool for just a couple minutes until I can actually touch them, and then we're gonna dig in. And there we have it, a beautiful, perfect homemade biscuit that was rock hard and in the freezer up until about half an hour ago. Golden brown on top, a little more golden brown on bottom. Still pretty hot to the touch. Maybe I didn't let it cool down quite long enough. Let's take a look at the inside. Perfectly fluffy, delicious layers of down-home goodness. All ready for some country gravy or some jam, or just eat it all by itself. You know, I rather enjoy making biscuits, and I often will just whip up a batch from scratch to bake right then. But you just simply don't always have the time for that, or feel like busting out all the flour and the ingredients and making everything up. But if you make a bunch in advance, just like I showed you, you can just pull one of these out of the freezer, throw them in the oven, and half an hour later you've got biscuits that are basically indistinguishable from biscuits that you baked this very same day that you mixed up that dough. Anyway, I want to eat some more of this before it cools down much more. But if you want to see the written out recipe for my go-to biscuits that I made here, of course, I'll put them in the video description below. In the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all our latest stuff, including future cooking and baking and food preservation videos, and lots more. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm John, and this is Great Lakes Country.